mechanics love that start technique.
Okay.
More accurately, IO 540s love that start technique.
Alright.
Checklist.
For start, taxi, run up brakes, I'm on the brakes, electric trim and autopilot. Our autopilot's off. Our electric trim, I believe, is on. Yeah. Okay. Trim for takeoff. It is in the takeoff box. Where exactly do you want it? On the front side of takeoff?
So I'm a big fan of, like, right there.
Okay, that works. Trim set for takeoff, flight controls. Right up. 2 elevators up, left up. Instruments. I got 3012 in there. Showing about 1200. Zeroed. Section is good. Exit. Alright, it's looking good. Alright, mix your best power. You want to go rich then?
Yeah, unless you were, in Denver, Colorado on a hot day.
Alright, 1500, then we test the feather. That's correct?
Yep, set 1500. Make sure everything's good and stable. Everything is. So at that point, you're going to take this prop and you're going to move it all the way down here. Okay. And there's a little detent you got to move it through. Okay. You're waiting, and what you're going to feel is this like vibration in your butt. The minute you feel it, throw it up. Okay. There. Yep.
Do the other one?
Yep. There. All right, so before we finish the next test, so 2 things you're testing there. One, you're making sure the stop pins are working. Okay. If the stop pins weren't working, then it'll go into feather, the engine will die, and you should just stop. You're done. Put it over there. They got to work on the propeller. Okay. There's a couple things. You probably had a chance to start looking at some of that material in the videos around the propellers. The stop pins, part of what helps them is the dome pressure that's put on. It's pneumatic dome pressure. Not oil pressure, and pneumatic dome pressure. They can test that on the ground. They should do it at annual. They're supposed to check it at annual. Not every mechanic does. If the dome pressure is low, it won't be able to come back out of feather no matter what you do, and you'll just burn a starter motor up. Okay. All right, so you've done the feather test. What you're really looking for on that particular test is, do the stop pins stay where they're keeping it from going into feather? Yep. All right. Now you'll bring power up a little more. Up to 22.
Papa, would you help me watch, make sure I don't roll?
Yeah.
Okay, there's 22. And then prop cycle. Do one at a time?
Yeah, do one at a time. Do the left one. So I'll do left, and I go manifold up, right, manifold up.
Okay.
Left, RPM down, right, RPM down. Oil pressure down on the left, oil pressure down on the right. And I do it that way because I can see that they're matching as well.
Okay. And then mags.
I do both of the left mags.
Okay.
Yeah, like that. And watch, they should drop and match.
Yep.
Put a mag on, and then do both of the rights. They should drop and match. They do. We got a little roughness on that right one, but it'll burn off.
And vacuum's good. Amperage and volt.
Right, so we can see that there's a positive rate.
That switches.
Yeah, this is... All right, good. We got good. System's good.
Oil pressure and temperatures looking good. Cylinder head temps are good. Alternators are good. Then we'll check the idle. And they idle really good.
That's because you sweet talked them.
And then friction lock. The friction lock feels good. All right. You want to go all the way out.
Yeah, that's good. All right, and every twin engine that I get in when I line up for the first flight of the day, it's kind of like it's a modified normal takeoff in which I hold the brakes and I bring power in and I make sure everything's where I expect it to be.
Okay.
I want to know bad things are going to happen here.
Take off power set.
Yep, oil pressure temps are good.
Right.
Brake release. Center line with the rudder.
Airspeed's loud. I got 60. And there's 70.
Positive rate.
And
Tap the brakes. And pull the gear up. And pitch for VYSE blue line and
I got blue line.
let it accelerate. Yeah, perfect. We'll take that.
Alright, you want to go to 103.
Yeah, anytime we're below 1,000 feet, keep your hands on the throttle.
Okay.
They have a tendency to slide back sometimes, and that'll create all kinds of symmetric. Yeah, 103 or better. And as I remember, there's really nothing around here, right? We can go either direction for maneuvering.
Yeah, pretty much. We got Akron Canton up to the northeast, but that's not a biggie.
Well, I would say let's go off to the east.
Okay.
Let's climb up to 3,500 feet, and we'll set power for cruise, and we'll kind of do exactly what your dad did. We'll learn the cruise settings. We'll get that all set up. We'll run our cruise checklist. We'll do some light maneuvering, clear the area, and then we'll get started with steep turns.
Okay. Alright, we got 103.
Full pressures, temps, everything looks good. Powers match, fuel flows match.
And you wanted to pull it back then, right, for...
So, yeah, so 500. So at a 500-foot check, I usually like to go to 24 squared in Aztec. So
okay.
24 here, 24 here.
Alright.
But the book also says you can do full takeoff power. You can do full power all the way to wherever. It's a little less to do with fuel flow and a whole lot more to do with like noise abatement.
Okay.
I'll take that.
And fuel pumps off. Turn the landing light off. Alright, we're at 2,500.
Alright, what was the maneuvering speed?
140, I think.
And at what weight is that?
Gross, I believe.
So, what should we use as our maneuvering speed today?
We're quite a bit below gross, probably 46, 40, 800 pounds. Maybe like 120-ish.
All right.
Sound good? All right, 090, we're right on 3,500.
Yeah, that compass is very upset for some reason. Okay, so we'll use that. So let's go ahead and let's slow to maneuvering speed, which for most of the maneuvers probably power to like 18 or 20.
Okay.
So power comes back. And for most of your maneuvers, you're going to do these with a full rich, high prop fuel pump on.
Okay.
So just kind of, reset up with that.
All the way up on
full rich.
Full rich.
Yep. And then the props, you can just bring them up to, 24, 25.
Okay.
We don't have to go to red line on them, but just up.
Okay. Set the left and then match.
Yep. And then fuel pumps go on. And that should get us that, 18, 19, 20, somewhere in there. That should get us a good maneuvering speed or below.
Yeah, we're right at 120.
Yeah, so that'll work well. So we'll do steep turns, and the commercial standard, you got to do them to 50 degrees plus or minus 5.
Okay.
You got to roll out plus or minus 5. Plus or minus 5, and you got to maintain altitude plus or minus 100.
Okay.
So, and there's also a speed component to that, but we'll worry about that later.
Okay. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, we'll do it to the left.
Cleared. All right, to the left.
Now, when I roll on this, do I want to add some power?
I'm going to let you make that determination.
Okay.
Some guys like to just muscle it. Some guys like to add a little bump of power. So there's 50. And you'll find that with a big fat wing, it tends to be able to hold the altitude well.
Uh-huh. Losing a little bit. There we go. Yeah, it definitely gets a little slow.
All right, and you are clear to the right. You can begin the right.
Okay.
All right, there's 30. Yep, people always tend to want to climb on the right turn.
Yeah. I'll fix it. There we go.
There's 40.
Oof.
Edge steeper. There's 45-ish.
That's 50.
Halfway through. All right, roll out wings level. Check our heading and compass. Plus or minus 10, plus or minus 100. And all right, we're pretty close. We'll take it. All right, so 3,500 feet up. We're at least 2,500 feet above the ground. We can do a little bit of slow flight.
Okay.
And we'll
do you want to head maybe south a little bit?
Yeah,
I'm going to get close to Akron, Kent, and I really don't want to.
Yep, actually, let's test your compass. Give me a 180 heading.
Okay.
And then we'll reset everything. All right. Well, let's talk about slow flight clean. It's kind of like it is in your Warrior, right?
Cherokee, yeah.
Cherokee. We're just trying to slow the aircraft down in a clean configuration to simulate what it would be like taking off.
Okay.
So the easiest way to do that, it's the same setup. Mixtures go full rich, propellers go full up, fuel pumps come on, and then you can go ahead and retard the throttles. And let's slow the power down to about 12.
Okay.
Now it's probably going to complain to you, which I hope it does.
The gear horn?
Yep. And yet it doesn't. Yep, and just hold the altitude and the heading and continue to trim it as we lose the airspeed.
Capital traffic, Warrior 4-5-483 miles northeast of the
And at this point,
we'll be setting up
it's
for the
really, if you guys start chasing like the props, trying to sink them,
Runway 5.
Under a low power setting, the governors really don't work well.
Okay.
So you're going to chase that forever.
Okay.
What speed do you want me at?
So we rotate at what speed?
70.
So let's go for 75 to 80 for today. And you're going to need, we're in the region of reverse command, so you're going to need some power to hold this altitude at this point. Probably somewhere in the 18 range. Maybe a little less.
Still losing a little.
All right. So give it just a bump. Yeah, our right engine's not quite matched. There you go. All right, we got a little bit of a rate. So yeah, 16, 17, somewhere in there power-wise. So go ahead and give me a nice, gentle turn. Let's proceed eastbound 090. 090. Set the heading bug, commercial pilot. Even your dad's back there going, heading bug. Nice and easy, keep everything coordinated, watch your speeds. Obviously, if something horrible were to happen,
nose down. Yep.
Seneca County traffic, 462 Papa Joy inbound, full stop.
Seneca County 66 Tango November is 7 miles to the east inbound for 24, Seneca County.
Flew through it a little bit.
Alright, so let's see, 090, that may be a challenge, but we'll try it. So we're going to transition. Is it clear behind us? It looks like it actually may be.
It is.
Yeah, go ahead and swing us all the way back around 270 left turn.
Okay.
Okay, follow you in.
Commercial pilots love the heading bug.
270.
Yeah.
It's going to probably take me a couple seconds.
It takes everybody. I'm just going to do the broken record thing.
Yep, no, that's fine. I want to remember it, obviously. Ooh.
Yeah, a little something there. So if we're losing altitude, maybe shallow the turn a little bit, and it'll give us back some of the lift.
Yep. There we go.
2 Papa Joy just overflew the field, downwind runway 6, full stop.
Port Meadville, Mall 51 Sierra Mike 10 to the west, northwest inbound landing, Port Meadville.
All right, on a 270 heading, you can level your wings. And we're just going to go right into a power on, also known as a departure stall.
Okay.
We do those in a clean configuration. The thought is that you've rotated takeoff, and you're trying to clear an obstacle, and you're like, oh crap, I need to go more aggressive. You over-rotate, you stall the plane.
Okay.
Commercial maneuver requires you do the stall to first recognition. We're going to take it all the way to the brake.
Okay.
Your DPE may not require you to do that.
Okay.
But we're going to do it as far over as we can. So let's go ahead and the recovery is pitch, power, flaps.
Okay.
Wait for positive rate, ear, flaps.
Okay.
Pitch, power, flaps, wait.
Okay.
All right. So when you get a little gap here somewhere, go ahead.
Do you want dual power on it?
Anything above 20, 23.
Okay.
I mean, in Aztec, you can hang it off the nose with 500 horsepower, right?
Right.
So, go ahead, give it a whirl.
Okay.
And just, as soon as you add power, start pitching, otherwise it's going to accelerate on you.
That where you want it for power?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay.
And just keep the ball centered and keep your hands on the throttle, wait for buffeting. There's the stall, nose down. And then just wait for the positive rate.
And the flaps are up.
Yep. Hold it on the heading, wait for positive rate. Once you get the blue line.
There's positive rate, gear and flaps, they're up.
All right. So that's that maneuver. So let's go back to 3,500.
Okay.
And let's turn out of the sun. So give me a right turn to 360.
All right.
All right. So on a northerly heading, we're below 132 knots. So,
what speed do you want me at? I'm doing like 100.
Fine.
Okay.
Gears coming down.
All right. Are you supposed to? Someone told me you have to hold your hand on till you have 3 green. Is that correct for commercial? Doesn't matter. Okay.
No, because it'll pop, and all you want to do is see 3 green, and then check your mirror.
Okay. Yep. Gears down.
All right. Make sure we're on our heading.
Yeah, I need to fix that a little bit.
All right. So gears down and locked. Mixture, propeller, switches, they're all good. And then the switches are fuel pumps.
Fuel pumps, yep.
And then we'll do flaps, and we'll just start working the flaps in until we get to full flaps. The idea is to hold altitude and hold heading while you dirty the plane up.
Okay.
So dirty it up.
All right, we're under 141, which is the first notch, so 3 seconds, right?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
And then you can visually inspect, and they are down and matched.
Yep. And then half, and we're below half, which is 123, I think. 1, 2, 3.
Port Meadville, Mall 510, Mike over Conneaut Lake inbound.
We're down to 85. Do you want me to put a little power in?
This is where you have to make the decision.
Okay. Yep. What speed do you want me at?
Anything above stall speed.
Okay.
Because at some point, what's stall speed?
56, completely dirty, I believe.
So let's stay above 70 for right now.
Okay. 75, and we'll do full. I can leave them till it pops.
You can let go and it'll pop. And it popped?
Yep.
All right, so we're holding altitude. We are close to our heading.
Glad I'll get on that.
And then at this point, we're about as dirty as we can get. You could argue maybe cowl flaps or whatever.
Cowl flaps are open, or they should be.
They should be. We didn't close them. All right, so give me a nice, gentle, easy turn to a right turn to 090.
Okay.
Heading bug.
Clear right.
Newcastle traffic for 56987 is downwind, runway 5, Newcastle traffic.
Got it. And Port Meadville, Mall 510, Mike is on a crosswind, runway 25.
Newcastle traffic,
Oh yeah, keep that ball center.
Upwind, runway 5, Newcastle traffic.
One thing for sure is twins do not spin. Most of them won't recover.
I saw in the PLH it said if you spin it, they don't guarantee you're going to be able to get out of it.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so we're holding our altitude, we're holding our heading. Power's a little bit more than it was because we're much dirtier.
Right.
All right, so we're going to go into a approach to landing, also known as a power off, stall, and recovery.
Okay.
Before we begin that, the recovery technique is exactly the same. Pitch for the horizon, power full, take out half of the flaps.
Okay.
Let me tell you about there's aerodynamic back pressure on the flaps, right? The
Right.
drag, shit's dragging it like crazy. The minute you lift that handle up, you're only going to go to 2. 1, 2, stop, put it back in neutral.
Okay.
If you don't, we'll lose all of our lift and sink like a rock.
Okay.
And then you wait, pitch, power, flaps, wait for positive rate. Positive rate, gear comes up, then you can work out the rest of the flaps.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes. Leave the power the way it is?
Nope, power's closed for the maneuver.
Okay.
Just like it would be, right? You're approaching the land and you're kind of gliding in, and then you overextend it, you're trying to stretch the glide. There it is, the buffet, pitch, power.
And whoop. 1, 2.
Yep, and look how much flaps it took out. And wait for positive rate, pitch for blue line.
And there's positive rate. Gears coming up. And the rest of the flaps.
Yep. They're very good flaps. All right, set me up at 3,500 feet on an easterly heading. Actually, I'll tell you what, let's do a southerly heading since our compass and everything doesn't seem to want to disagree. It's all mad. All right, so set us up on a southerly heading, and I'm going to have you do the exact same thing.
Okay.
Sorry, David, I should have given you a little more heads up on that one.
No, that's fine. Not an issue on my end.
The only other thing you may have to experience is a secondary stall, which is when you inadvertently stall the aircraft in an attempt to recover from a stall.
Okay.
In other words, you're too aggressive in maybe in the power off. You pitch for the horizon too aggressively, and that causes a secondary stall.
Okay.
Anytime you have a secondary stall, just pitch the nose down, gain airspeed, you're fine.
Makes sense, yep. All right, 180.
All right, 180 southerly heading. All right, so we're going to set our power to below 15, somewhere in the 12 range, because we're going to slow this bad girl down, and you're going to be an accelerated stall demonstration to, say, the left, because that's easier for you.
Okay.
All you have to do is roll into a 45 while simultaneously pitching the crap out of it.
Okay, there's 12, 45, and pull it back, right?
But wait for maneuvering.
Okay.
We're maneuvering. So close the throttles, 45 and climb all at the same time. Close the throttles. And then pitch, pitch, pitch. There's the buffet. All right, that was great, other than we do not have to float the cabin.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
You did good. All right, southerly heading, my man.
All right.
3,500 feet. And let's start. Any questions on any stalls?
No, I don't think so. I think I understand.
Yeah. I mean, you had to do most of it in your private stuff, right? So.
Back to southerly heading?
We do no single engine stalls.
Okay.
There is never a scenario in which you will practice single engine stalls.
You'll spin it, correct?
You'll
or you
die.
could?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You think you've got asymmetric problems now?
Yeah. Zanesville, 739er Q3 is 9 miles north of the airfield. We'll be entering.
All right, here we go. So let's set power 22, 23, and cruise.
Okay.
Usually in a carbureted, in a non-turbocharged aircraft, you usually want these, whatever this is, say 23, usually you want this to be below. Okay. The same or below. Make a match or below.
Okay.
In like that R182, I fly at the top of the green and the bottom of the green on the RPM.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I see. I need to go.
Actually, I do that. I do that in any pressure engine. All right, so we're on a southerly heading, 3,600, 3,500 feet.
Okay, we're going to be.
All right, you got an autopilot over there?
We do, but I don't think we're.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that. Sorry. Some of those things you guys are going to have to keep reminding me.
Yep.
All right, so we're in cruise configuration. You're taking me down to New Philadelphia because I hear they have food or something.
Okay.
I don't know. You're minding your own business. You're going to have an engine failure.
Okay.
Do you remember the mantra?
Bank?
Nope. That's one of them, but not the right order.
Pitch.
Nope. Blue?
Blue bank ball.
Blue bank ball.
Yeah.
Blue. Am I above blue line?
Yes.
If you're above blue line, you theoretically cannot die from asymmetric thrust.
Right.
Blue is most important. We say it first. Blue. Bank. Lift the dead 3 to 5 degrees. Ball. Split the ball. Wherever the ball is sliding to, split it. All right, we're cruising along asymmetric thrust. And engines, don't look out there, you're flying.
Okay.
You're like, I don't know, Andy, I love New Philadelphia. It's the best place in the world. I got out here all the time with cheeseburgers. Blue, say it. Blue.
Bank ball.
Raise the dead. Which one's dead?
Left engine.
All right, so you're above blue, you've got the bank in, and you split the ball. Now you push up, so mixes go full rich, propellers go full forward. Both engine throttles would go all the way up, but you can't do that since we're simulating, so you can just take the right one.
Do you want me to put this thing at blue line?
No, I want you to fly above blue line.
Okay.
So, power. So, push up,
and then power on this engine.
And when you bring it in, it's going to get asymmetric.
Yep.
Power up includes fuel pumps because that's most likely our problem.
Yep.
Clean up. Pull the flap handle up, let go. Flap handle up, let go. Pull the gear up and let go. Just like, nope, push the little thing over like you're retracting them. And just let go. All right, so we pushed up, powered up, cleaned up. Are you above blue line?
Yes.
What's blue line?
88.
Zanesville, Zanesville, Sky 79.
What's blue line?
North of the airfield.
88.
Are you certain of that?
25 for runway 16.
You keep flying.
You cancel.
Is it 83?
No.
Oh, because that's VMC. Wasn't your blue line 103?
Nope. So that's VY is 103.
88 is blue line on this one.
Can I trim the rudder to make it easier on myself?
You can, but I'm going to take your engine away and put it back. So here we go.
Okay.
All right, I'm putting it back. You ready? It's
Yep.
going to get weird. All right, let's climb back to 3,500 feet.
Okay.
And let's head south.
Yep. Put more power into it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Commercial pilots use checklists.
Cruise throttles, props, make sure you don't want me to lean it, correct?
You can, but we're gonna go right back to a full red here in a second.
Okay. So you don't want me to then? Okay. Fuel pumps off. Fuel flaps are open.
They're fine.
Instruments, oxygen, fuel proper tank, and cruise checklist complete.
All right, cool. All right, you're taking me past New Philadelphia, which is great. Everything's wonderful. You're having a good time. You're minding your own business. You're looking. Hand me that checklist. I want to look at something.
Blue.
Blue.
All right, that's that in.
Nope. Blue.
Blue.
Bank. Ball.
Ball.
Do you have control of the aircraft?
Yes.
Push up. Power up. Push up. Power up. Watch the asymmetric. Hold the altitude. Hold the heading. Push up. Power up. Don't forget the fuel pumps.
Sky 7923 is
Clean up.
for 16
Clean up. It's a C maneuver. Push up. Power up.
Flaps.
Flaps come up.
Gear.
Yep. All right, good. Pushed up, powered up, cleaned up. Now the question is, do I have control of the aircraft? I do. I will run the emergency checklist. We had an engine failure in flight above 64, so we controlled the aircraft. We're above 83. We identify the inoperative engine. Dead foot, dead engine. Which one's dead?
Right.
All right, so identify the right engine. So identify, we tap it. Verify. We'll move this throttle. Nothing changed. So we'll bring this to close. Throttle comes closed. It's closed. Propeller, identify it. Right foot, right engine's dead. Right front, bring it back to feather.
You want me to?
I do.
Okay. It's feather.
And then I want you to bring your mix to close.
Zanesville Sky 7923 is
Mixture's closed.
216.
Now, I want you to look at the right fuel pump.
Okay.
Turn it off.
Okay.
And I want you to confirm the right fuel tank.
Is off.
Take the right fuel tank and make sure it's the right one. Turn it to the off position.
And right tank confirmed. Right tank is off.
All right. We're above blue line. Now you hear that noise?
Yeah.
I can cheat and move this, and it'll stop making that
Okay.
noise.
Ah.
Okay. So
One question real quick. It's my dead engine. I want my balls put towards the operating engine, correct?
yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Otherwise, you're using more rudder than you need to.
Right.
All right, so let's start with the easy turn. The easy turn is turning to the right. So give me a right turn to 270,
Okay.
heading bug. The new starter, so I feel good.
Yeah. Sure hope it works.
We'll find out. New Philadelphia's right there.
Yep. I mean, it's flying fine, so.
If you guys are up doing this, post ratings, Andy's not around, you're just, shucking and jiving. In the winter, try not, if you're going to shut the engine down, that's fine, but try not to leave it shut down for more than a few minutes because
That doesn't cool off.
it'll cool off really
Okay.
fast and be hard to start.
Yep.
All right, there's a 270. Now I'm going to give you the harder turn. I'm going to ask you to turn all the way back around to 090 on the left.
Okay.
And maintain altitude.
I'm doing my best, but I don't want to go below blue line.
What's blue line?
88.
What are you flying at?
About 90.
All right, fly at 88.
All right. And back to 090.
Yep. Which this gives you an idea of the performance you're going to get. Single engines out. I mean, this is as real world as it gets. It's completely controllable. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah.
If you had to give something up right now, what would you give up?
Cowl flap.
No. Looking over there, what do you give up?
On.
What saves your life? Keep your turn up, by the way.
Red line.
So you're getting there.
VMC. So go to
we never want to get below VMC.
So go to VXSE is what you're saying?
If we keep, yeah, exactly. You can give up altitude. You can never give up that last bit of airspeed.
Use caution to stay in Middletown. Got everything.
So we're going to try it since we're at altitude and we can do this. Go ahead and give it a little more trim. See if you can fly it at VXSE.
Okay.
Which is 80 on this one.
Is it 80?
83.
83.
I had to look to make sure. And see if that affects a performance gain out of it.
Yeah, it's about 83.
But we're not really climbing.
Nope.
So this plane, fairly full fuel, the three of us on a hot day, and we're not doing much in the way of a climb performance.
Nope, I got maybe a smidget of one right now, but it ain't much.
So now let's play this out since we're as real world scenario as it gets here, right?
Right.
We're 1,000 feet higher. How does that affect things?
4,000 feet higher?
Yeah.
You're saying if we're at 4,500, then it's not going to climb at all, it's going to be descending a little bit.
Why is it not going to climb?
Because the density altitude's higher.
Density altitude's higher. What do we need to climb?
Excess power.
What do we not get when we go 1,000 feet higher?
Power.
We lose power.
Right.
Yeah. So density altitude is affecting us. We're higher up, a higher density altitude. We're losing power. We're losing the ability to the engine to make power.
Correct.
All right, so when we get on this easterly heading, we're going to level her off and fly her. By the way, we're in a turn, so that's going to affect your ability to climb a little bit. So once we get leveled off here, we'll see if we can eke out a little bit of a climb. All right, so let's play this scenario out a little further. It's the family. You guys are on your way back from Carroll County or something for lunch. You lose an engine on a day like today. Is this aircraft going to hold altitude?
If we were all in here, probably not.
I doubt it, actually.
So, if you remember all our ground school, we said, hey, the single engine critical altitude was 6,400 feet. That's the drift down altitude, right?
Right.
The 5,000 foot was the climb up to. We're not going to climb up to 5,000 feet today.
No.
Why?
Because density altitude's higher.
Density altitude, we're already at 5,000 feet in field, right?
Right.
So the engine can't do anymore. All right.
Watch that left engine oil temp is getting...
Go ahead and push the nose over a little bit, and we're going to go through the restart. So, take the fuel system and set the fuel system, put the right engine back where you want it.
Okay, we'll go back to inboard. Okay.
Let's go ahead and push the mix up. Push the prop up.
Okay.
And then we're going to leave the engine set right at about idle.
Okay.
Fuel pump comes on, mags are already on, and then we'll start it. And it's going to take a while because it's got to get it out of feather.
Oop.
All right, let go. Whoop, don't touch anything. Just keep flying. Wait, watch what it does.
Okay.
You'll feel the AC.
Yep.
And then wait for the oil pressure to get in the green.
Okay.
All right, now you can go ahead and bring your power back in on the right engine. And let's go ahead and close, pull some of the throttle back on the left because we've been flogging that thing.
Yep.
And let's just level off here. Feel good?
Yep.
All right, good. So direct. I said direct. Philadelphia. All right, 315. Take me to New Philly. Set us up. Let's do a normal landing. I have no idea what the airport weather, winds, or anything are.
If I hear call the traffic, Aztec 63973 is entering downwind runway 15, and we want to be at 18, we're getting there.
Other traffic,
Make sure fuel status of our instruments. Was he talking to me?
No, I think it was Medina, or Wadsworth.
Pull a little more power, get it slowed down.
You know what's awesome in this plane?
What?
Putting the landing gear down.
Get you slowed down?
Oh yeah.
Want me to go ahead and do it?
Oh yeah. It'll help you descend from altitude too.
We're at 18, which is what we want.
It's a ton of drag.
Alright, I got 3 green. Goes down locked, can see in my mirror.
So we do gumps. Gas is on a full tank. It is undercarriage is down and locked.
Yes.
Mixture's full rich.
Yep.
Propellers where you want them.
They're full.
Switches and seatbelts. Switches are the fuel pumps.
I'm in the airfield.
Yep, fuel pump's on.
Alright, and then flaps as needed. The way I like to fly the Aztec, on the downwind, I like to set power at 20.
Okay.
And hold my altitude with 20.
21 miles out, so you're well ahead of me.
When I'm abeam my touchdown point,
Alright, that's it.
which I can't see it because of that big cowl, you'll have to tell me.
I'm watching it.
When you're abeam the touchdown point, power to 15,
Okay.
put in your first notch of flaps,
Okay.
and let it start descending like you would in the Cherokee.
And we're about to beam.
Alright, power to 15.
1,000, 2,000, 3,000.
And we look at flaps, and they both came out. Alright,
Turn base.
things are going to get fast now, because this plane moves a lot faster than a
I'm
Cherokee.
still pretty close. I'm going to fly out a little bit.
Good
Give myself
decision.
some time in the final.
Very good decision.
That looks pretty good. Here for the traffic, Aztec 63973, turning left base runway 15.
Alright, second notch of flaps.
1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Alright, we're looking at 90.
90 is great.
Alright.
95 is even greater, but 90 is great.
Okay.
Alright, level the wings so I can see what's going on over here. Alright, nobody's coming.
Good. Here for the traffic, Aztec 63973, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Actually, I can leave them.
Yep.
There we go. There's full.
And we get lined on the center line. We'll do one last check. Gear is down and locked.
I got
Good.
3 green. Flaps are full.
So at this point
Looking
on a
at
short
95.
final, you've got the runway made. Power at about 12 to 13. So just a little more power than you got. Otherwise we sink like we did.
Yep.
And just let it ride in here. And when you get into ground effect, just do what you do normally. Get into ground effect and then round out. And as it starts to sink, close the throttle slowly and pull back. All right, ground effect. Hold it off, hold it off, hold it off, hold it off. Close the throttles, hold it off, close the throttles, hold it off, hold it off. Oh!
Wasn't bad.
Doesn't suck, huh?
No.
It's just, everything's faster.
Yep, it is.
Nicely done.
Thank you.